GRYSKLL. Let's talk about it. Let me start by saying this first. This whole conversation that we're having right now is about me, about my accountability. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about this or how I wanted to talk about this, to be honest. But when I started the Not a Podcast for GRYSKLL, I said I wanted it to be a near real-time documentary. I wanted to show what it was like to build a crew or group or just friendship, brotherhood, whatever you want to call it, connections. I wanted to show what it was like to connect with other people and how the process looked to develop and build something from the ground up. And a lot of that is, an extension of my personal mission. My personal mental health mission was to kind of show my journey and show me getting better in my battle against depression, anxiety, PTSD, all that stuff, right? And, the crew came along at a time when I was doing well creatively. I was making progress that I appreciated creatively. And I couldn't be more thankful for that. And because of that gratitude, I felt I owed the crew something. I felt I I still feel immense gratitude, which is another reason why I didn't feel comfortable talking about the feelings that I've been experiencing, the not so good feelings I've experienced along the ride. We've all experienced some great stuff, some things that we love, but there have been some pains, like there are in any social situation, any group, friendship, family, whatever you want to call it, right? And I didn't feel like I could express the things that didn't feel good about it openly without causing harm or, causing somebody else unnecessary pain or discomfort. And one of the missions that one of the one of the goals that I've had over the past few years, thanks to Yanni actually, and some of the reading we've been doing and discussing, is to do no harm. I looked at the ways that I've caused harm in my life, and I don't want to continue doing that for any reason, not in retaliation, not, you know, to protect my own feelings, none of that. I don't feel like any of that is conducive to my mental health or the mental health of others. And I want, if you know my mission is to improve mental health, communication, awareness, education, and resources, especially in the Black communities and the hip hop communities. When GRYSKLL came together, yeah, that mission, there were some people who really resonated with that mission. And let me start by saying this first. This whole conversation that we're having right now is about me, about my accountability. So when we came together and certain crew members expressed support for the mental health mission I was on, I think I took it a bit too far in expressing an interest. They were looking all up in my window. I think I took it too far in taking that expressed interest or support and making that a crew initiative without really learning how to check in with each and everybody and making sure that's what each and every person wanted. Because it's a big undertaking, it's a big responsibility. And, I also made a bunch of other decisions for myself, but that since I was, on Front Street with managing the GRYSKLL account, I think it made it look as if my thoughts represented the whole crew. And because I was because I was out there representing the crew as hard as some others. There are many of us that represent it. There are a number of us who represent it for the crew and who represent for the crew still to this day. But my representation, I was representing myself, my own journey, my own challenges, my own struggles, and those too many of my personal thoughts, feelings, and agendas got intermingled with the Grayskull image, persona, whatever you want to call it. And I started to notice that certain people weren't interested in improving, weren't interested in my mission, the mental health side of my mission, and especially the messy parts, the parts where, I was talking about my own struggles. I'm sure certain people didn't want to be associated with that. And it's not healthy or safe for some people to be associated with that if you live in a certain type of lifestyle. It can create turmoil and havoc and have your people questioning you. And those are things I didn't consider. So, like I said, this is about accountability. I have, I came to this without any plans. I didn't plan on what I was going to talk about. I just wanted to come talk to the camera and start getting this out because it's been going through my mind over and over and over again. Different versions, different narratives, different perspectives. I had to, I zoomed out. I pulled back from the table for the past couple of months because I was really going through it. And I was going through it over personal things, but also some things I'd been seeing in Grayskull for a long time, and some things that were becoming way, they, there were alarms flashing in my mind. And I wasn't quite sure how to deal with things. My biggest focus was communication because I feel like communication between individuals is the best way to solve a challenge. Once the communication is gone, once you start breaking down the lines that keep us connected in healthy ways, I feel like all you can expect is destruction. And I've been watching the walls of the castle crumble. So, to speak on my part, again, I try to make my mission a crew's mission and not just the mental health mission. Also, I saw opportunities. There are a couple of things that I allowed to pressure me. One, I felt like this was an opportunity for us to do more than just make music. It was an opportunity for us to make money too. But I'd never run an art business before. I'd never run a music business before. So I was trying to figure out on the fly how to do both, how to sell merch, how to sell music, how to get people interested in market music. And I felt like I was doing it under the gun. I felt like I was against the clock because I saw years ago that social media usage and interest was in decline because people were seeing the damages that social media causes to individuals who aren't healthy walking into these environments. I saw the aftermath, especially after 2020, the Capitol, whatever you want to call it, the attack on the Capitol, however, whatever. That was like the culmination of, to me, that was the culmination of the messes that were being created as a result of social media. So I knew the people were walking away, pulling back, and we were losing an audience. Just that because the world was changing. Also, I saw opportunities in the space, in the Web3 space, and I kind of felt like it was, again, it's one of those things where if you miss the boat, you miss the boat. So I put pressure on myself and then the crew to deliver some product to the Web3 space, but we had to be ready to go in, and you can't just deliver product. You got to deliver yourselves. You got to deliver a whole lot more. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to figure it out on the fly and made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. And the crew still supported me. So again, back to the gratitude. Still appreciative of the support and the backing and the fact that people still kept showing up despite the fact that I was making mistakes. And I had one person in the crew who would come pull my coat and be like, "Hey, yo, optics on this feel a little funny," or "I didn't like the way that, I didn't like the way that felt." And that was helpful to help me realize that, oh shit, maybe I need to be even more careful about how I speak. But I also saw the ways that certain people were handling their own mental health challenges. And in the midst of all that, I got confused. I got lost because I was trying to figure out how to continue talking about mental health and being honest and giving the real time documentary, giving the honest, picture of what was really going on, including my own personal feelings. But I didn't know how to do that and not continually damage the crew. So I started doing what I did before that led me to depression and anxiety, PTSD, and all that. I started to just clam up, started to bottle my feelings, started not to speak on things that meant something to me, that meant a lot to me, which, I won't say whether it was right or wrong. It's subjective. I think I'm starting to realize, and we're starting to realize through a lot of what we're reading, discussing, Yanni and I, that there really is no such thing as right or wrong. It's all societally constructed, and what's right or wrong is all a matter of perspective. But for me, bottling and not sharing my honest and true thoughts goes against my mission. And it also, to me, it just ain't being real. And I can be gone tomorrow. I always say tomorrow is a lie. Reevaluating whether I want to keep saying that, right? But I always say tomorrow is a lie. And if I was gone tomorrow, what story would be told about me based on the information I've given and based on other people's accounts? I don't think anybody else can give as genuine account of what's going on with me other than me. So I've been trying to figure out how I continue to represent myself and how I continue to help assist and work with the crew, because GRYSKLL has become one of the driving forces in my life over the past couple of years, just like House of Fluid Reflections, to the point that I put both in front of myself or before myself quite a few times. And that, I think, is one of the biggest mistakes, is not focusing on getting my mind right, my mental health right, my mind state, my mindset on point first, and then pouring energy into those two things. So that's kind of what I've been doing the past couple of months, pulling back, doing that. And then also just kind of looking at my relationships that I've been building. Which ones are genuine friendships? Which ones are, which ones feel good? Which ones don't feel good, and why don't they feel good? Either way, I don't point the finger at anybody else. Accountability all on me. If I won't say any more about that. But in looking at all this, I've come to understand that things have needed to, and have got to change when it comes to GRYSKLL. So I'm looking at how I want to approach things moving forward for myself and with GRYSKLL. I've got a lot of ideas. I got a lot of plans, and there'll be some discussions coming up, and we'll see what happens. But first and foremost, love GRYSKLL. Appreciate everybody for what they brought to the table, and hey, man, we'll see who we are moving forward and how we move, if we move forward. Either way, it's been a beautiful ride, and I appreciate everything about this. It's meant everything to me, and it's been a very healing, motivating, inspiring, and priceless experience, man. So, appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody that supported GRYSKLL. And hope to still see you. I hope to still be rocking these shirts in the future. Peace.